So what is the material on the inside?
Yeah, this is a kind of a secret.
Oh man!
They're up to 2 meters, which are the biggest wheels in the world.
You got test materials right here. We're gonna actually step in here to do a test cut with one of the biggest diameter chop saw wheels that you've ever seen. Absolutely incredible. These things are over 2 meters long. We're at Tyrolit today in Austria. And we're gonna learn how the best grinding wheels on the planet are made. Once the mix is made, they're formed, they're fired, and then they come over here and they actually get precision machined or ground perfect. Every single one of them to absolute perfection. We're at Tyrolit, baby. Austria, let's go.
So we are right now in the mixing department of our conventional vitrified area. We have a lot of different silos. We have 180 different grain silos. In total, we use more than 250 different grains. Additional bonds on the other side. We manufacture whatever the customer needs. 300 different customers orders every day. Whatever is needed, we do it in this area. What we also have is quite a good level in digitalization. We know exactly the amount of weight he is releasing from the silo. We know exactly the liquids he is adding, and we know exactly what should be the result of the mixture. And then at the end, when the mixture is completed, we have a label where it says, okay, it must be used within the next 8 hours and it must be done until 2 p.m. 17 minutes or whatever the time is. In this case, we have a volume of 230 kilograms of mixtures, and we will produce 150 grind wheels from this mixture.
This is like a battery in stereo.
I know. I was just like thinking, when you go to a grocery store and you're getting all your different things, it's like all the ingredients, all automated. Crazy.
Having a mixture is about 10 times more abrasive than the final grinding wheel. That's what makes it quite interesting in this process.
I'll turn the camera around so you can see all the different mixtures on the wall. So as I said, it's just like baking, but it's like all the material right here. So they come over, open these bad boys up, and whatever the mixture is for that particular wheel, boom, it goes inside and they cook it, man. Crazy. One of the cool things that I know about Tyrolit that I heard you guys talking about, most companies, your competition, they actually buy the grain and the mixture and then they make their product, where you guys use your own grain, right? So you guys produce the grain.
So we purchase some grain on the market, but on the other side, we also produce it ourselves, completely self-developed. You will also find them in our newest product lines, the Alpha 9 high-performance grinding wheels, some of the best that are currently on the market.
Awesome, man. Boom.
We produce every year only in this plant 30,000 different articles, 80,000 custom orders. So there is not a lot of coming again, not a lot of mass series. It's really everything is coming different. And if we would have the same tool tomorrow, it would look completely different. The biggest diameters will be up to 1.4 meters, and the smallest ones, they will be a few millimeters. So it's really small ones that you can put into your pocket. So it's really from huge to small. Basically everything is running through this area.
Chris off on camera. What's up, Chris off?
Hey!
So we're just been talking about this plant and how many different wheels you guys manufacture, but worldwide, how big is Tyrolit? Like, you guys are all over the world.
We are all over the world, on all continents, not always under the Tyrolit brand, but the Tyrolit group. And how big are we? We have approximately 4,500 employees. We are quite big in our industry, and we are actually the biggest specialized abrasive manufacturer in the world.
How many overall manufacturing plants altogether?
31 right now.
Great. And when you look at Radiac in the US, that's literally Tyrolit.
It is Tyrolit.
It is Tyrolit. Greatest grinding wheel made around the world and made in the US. Boom. Awesome, man.
This is pressing, what's happening here. So there we want to make sure to get the grinding wheel into the shape we want to have at the end. So when you look in here, you see the pressing cycles. We are right now at the beginning of the next grinding wheel. So we always press on a plate to make sure that as soon as the grinding wheel is pressed, that there is no manual contact to the grinding wheel. So you can see we have the mold is spinning, the bend is spinning. It's fully automated, so we see exactly that the mixture is placed into the mold, the exact amount we want to have the right density at the end of the grinding wheel. After this, we have one manual step that the guy, he makes sure that the surface on top is completely flat to have as less unbalance as possible. So he's really quite experienced. It's 6 months of training to work on such a pressing machine. So it's really a lot of knowledge. The pressing machine here with 1,600 tons of pressing force. We have an exact time that we need to hold the force on the wheel. So now the pressing cycle is finished. You can see one last step what the guy does manually. He makes sure has one last visual inspection that everything is okay. He marks it and then it will be transported. There we see a robotic arm at the end. He will pick up the grinding wheel and place it into the rack. And from this point on we have a complete digital material flow throughout the whole plant. So the system knows this rack is at the moment on this position, and from this point on we don't use the order, we only use the rack to transport it throughout the whole plant. After pressing it's drying and then firing, and after firing we have the machining. So those grinding wheels are always a little bit bigger than the final result, because after firing we will get it in shape as the customer wants it actually.
What is crazy is like I'm right here because we just stepped out, but there's no way that I could actually show you guys how big this place is, and this is how it's done. So when you look at Tyrolit, one of the biggest companies in the world for abrasives, specialty abrasives, all that, these guys are known as the best of the best. This entire manufacturing facility, and then there's a city around the manufacturing facility and employees, and then it's just built from there. Swarovski, they're cut with Tyrolit. That is the magic sauce right there, and they're here just 7 kilometers away also. So pretty amazing stuff, and we just started. It is crazy. Tyrolit, baby. Boom.
So now you will see some wheels you will remember from back in the US.
Now this is the best machinist stone on the market. But right now, these are on our store for less than $60. Get it soon because it's gonna go up to 90, and we're not making anything on this stone. We just wanted to bring you guys out there the best that Machinist Stones had to offer, and this is it.
So they will be delivered straight to you guys. And we are right now busy with pressing of those wheels. So as you can see, we right now start with the first wheel. The mixture is already in the mold. So the next step is to make sure that it's completely flat. Also to make sure that there will be one line between one and the other material. And then also the same as we've seen before in big is happening here, just a little bit smaller. Make sure to reach the density and the hardness we want to have it here. To make sure that the hardness on top and on the bottom is almost the same. From this point on also there will be no manual contact anymore to the grinding wheel, so we will only manipulate it by the blade until after the firing process, because then it's hard enough to transport it throughout. Now after firing it's going to the machining department, and then it's going into the final inspection where we check unbalance, where we do speed testing, and where we have just a final inspection to make sure that we achieved everything we wanted to achieve, and then it's dispatched and supplied.
We're having a problem with the wheels.
Yeah?
Did you know that?
Nah?
Nani? All these wheels have already been sold all over the world.
That's what I heard.
The next order has already been sold.
We have this issue quite often.
Yeah.
That's because we produce grinding wheels that grind.
That's awesome. Yeah. The best machinist stones on the planet being made right here at Tyrolit, and they're already sold. So we need to like increase the orders, man.
Absolutely. So basically where we are right now, we call it the station between pressing and firing. So articles that are pressed on the racks will be placed in this area. So from this point on it waits for drying. After drying it will come back here, and then it's waiting for the firing process. So we have a humidity controlled area here, temperature controlled area in this time here, to make sure that there will be no bad influences on the grinding wheel in the raw status. What's happening in here is that we have an oven wagon where we place the raw material on site, then we build it up. It takes about 2 guys for 4 hours to build the wagon, then it will be fired, and after the firing process it's coming back here, and then we will unpack it again, the fired product. That fired grinding wheel always has a color, so in this case you can see it's a little bit gray shining, so it's not fired yet. After the firing process it will be really colorful. We have more than 20 years of experience in this area, because it's really important how to build it up, how much distance is needed. Is that distance needed, or is it better for the grinding wheel to have less distance? So it's really a lot of knowledge, and really the detail makes it afterwards, if we have a finished finished grinding wheel or if it has cracks, but we will also see if we reach the density and the hardness we want to have to then achieve the grinding operation on the market that we want to have.
They are made for grinding the surface of the ski.
Oh, really?
And we are
That's
the main supplier for the ski industry in the world. So we do all the grinding tools and pressing tools for making the ski as fast as possible. So this is why the Austrian ski team is always in the lead in the World Cup.
It's skiers, but it's also the perfect skis, ground.
Or one of our major business areas we have.
I had no idea that skis were like ground that perfect. That's awesome.
It ground perfectly.
Yeah,
And not
it
only-
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so it is not only necessary to grind the surface of the ski perfectly, it is also important to have a very sharp edge to go on the slope and to stay on the slope and not to escape. One of the famous skiers, the American ones, was Bodie Miller, going down the Streif in Kitzbühel, so he was also using his skis prepared with Tyrolit grinding wheels.
Wow, nice.
You can feel it already, it's getting warmer, so we are in the kiln area. About a third of our products running through the tunnel kiln. It's 50 meters long. Every 3 hours we place one of those wagons automatically into the kiln and we will fire it at middle temperature. Middle temperature we talk about 1150 degrees Celsius on the highest temperature. After 4 days we will leave the tunnel kiln at the end. So it's 96 hours throughout the tunnel, and after 96 hours we have a fired finished product waiting then for the machining department afterwards. The tunnel is running throughout the whole year, 365 days a year, 24 hours, 7 days a week, through Christmas, through New Year's. We are not even able to shut it off, so it would take us 10 days to cool it down to make sure that there won't be a damage throughout the whole year it's running.
Wow.
Now you can see the press wheel will be transported into our kiln area where we will place them on the open wagon where it will then be prepared for the firing process. Some bigger wheels over there.
So you're just talking about this furnace over here, and it's running every single day non-stop.
Exactly.
What about these furnaces over here? How many furnaces do you have?
In total 24 furnaces. The tunnel kiln is about for a third of our product, and the other 2/3 are in this area. So we have batch kilns where we place the wagon inside, then we heat it up, we hold the temperature, and then we cool it down again.
Okay.
Taking between 5 to 10 days depending on the product we have inside. So right now you can see we are in the kiln area with the kilns. One of those kilns has 20 cubic meters of firing material, so of grinding wheels. And this one over there is one wagon, so we will have 2 of those in one kiln. And in this case we have a fired one. So you can see it on the cover, it's very blue, it's shiny. So it's fired products waiting for unloading and for the next product. So some of our newer kilns, we expanded this area a few years ago to have more capacity here in Austria to produce even more as business is increasing and increasing.
Crazy big. Like, we've all seen these ovens that cook material, that harden materials. These kilns right here are monsters. Absolutely stunning. These are the new ovens. They just keep advancing, keep getting bigger and bigger. Hundreds and hundreds of wheels just being cooked in each one of them. It's awesome. What I feel is fascinating is, like, not only do you have all different sizes of like the Tyrolit wheels, you even got babies on top, but like we fixture everything, like the whole cards, build all these crazy fixtures. They do the same thing, right? I mean, it's all fixture, and they're using these fire bricks. So you got the fire bricks basically all around, creating this whole platform here. Fire bricks, they are ceramic, they're inert, so it doesn't react to the fire. That is like the ceramics that we see with Kennametal. So Kennametal will have the ceramic and it'll be cutting the material, and everybody's like, oh, it's flaming because all you see is a ball of fire. And they're writing comments about like, oh, you're like ruining the inserts and they're too hot because of the fire. But the fire is outside of the insert. The insert is inert, so it is never affected by the fire. The fire is outside of the insert making the cut, and that's why you can cut these crazy materials like Inconel with ceramics, because the ceramics isn't affected by heat. It's the same thing with these bricks. Therefore, it's a staple for fixturing all the wheels and getting all the wheels into the oven and out of the oven, and they just use them over and over and over. All of these guys, see all this right here? It's a million wheels going into the oven, and it has these fire bricks that are basically surrounding them that go into the fire. Anyway, I just thought that was like super fascinating.
Now we see the exact same product already fired, so it's after the kiln process. Now it's waiting for the machining. So machining will be done today, so it will be in the final inspection tomorrow. So stock will be up full very soon.
Now they're ready for the final grinding to make it absolutely
Exactly,
perfect.
to make it completely flat, to get into the geometry you want to have, to make sure that the customer has a good grip on it, and that tomorrow they will be finished and on stock really soon.
Beautiful. We just saw like how these things are made. They've gone through the kiln now, so they're fired, and now they're going to go through a special grinding process to make them absolutely perfect. Best machinist stones on the planet, easy to grip, all that, absolutely crazy quality. You can get them at TitansofCNCTooling.com. It's the only place that you can actually get these machinist stones. We're giving you a crazy price because we want everyone to have an opportunity, even the students, to have an amazing stone. Titans of CNC in partnership with Tyrolit to bring you the greatest machinist stones on the planet. Boom.
So this is, for example, the assortment, or one part of the assortment we sell to this key and board industry. But not only, you see different sizes of grinding tools going to the bearing industry, general machinery industry, tooling industry, automotive industry, aerospace industry is also a big business of us, and we will finally see them in finishing department.
In fact, those wheels here, that's where Tyrolit comes from. That's how we started over 100 years ago. Tyrolit actually is a sister company of Swarovski, making those fancy jewelry known all around the world. And Tyrolit
It's like the secret weapon, right?
is one of the core secrets behind the success of Swarovski. And Tyrolit was founded in 1919, but even before that, Swarovski made their own abrasives. That are those kind of tools, and that allowed them to really manufacture their stones in a perfect condition so that they look like jewelry. And after a couple of years, they decided why not sell those knowledge to the market, and that's when Tyrolit was found.
Now we are right now after the firing process. Now before they pass on to the next process, the machining, we will have a semi-inspection that's happening here. 1 piece or 10%, or even for some industries 100% inspection of hardness, tightness, E-motor, to make sure that we achieved what we wanted to achieve. And if it's okay, then it's passing on. If it's not okay, then we have some options to correct it. Machining department, a lot of grinding machines. We grind grinding wheels, so also quite an interesting industry. We are able to achieve whatever geometry is needed in the final grinding wheel. So there are not a lot of things that we can't do. It's really what does the customer needs, and what the customer needs, we try to get this shape into the grinding wheel. Here you can see one of our warm wheels. That's how the wheel looks at the beginning. It's already machined, so all the surfaces are already on size. The warm wheel is going into the gearing industry. As mentioned before, we are able to get whatever geometry is needed. This is one of those examples.
So basically you're selling it already dressed.
Exactly,
Perfect.
exactly. So our goal is to get as close as possible to the final geometry the customer needs. So when he is getting the wheel on his grinding machine, he only has to dress once and then it's on. The goal to reduce setup time as much as possible.
Speaking of dressing, one of the cool things is on our Grinding Academy, you can actually go to grindingacademy.com and you can learn how to dress your own wheel right there on the Grinding Academy. We teach you everything, how to dress the Tyrolit wheel step by step through the whole process, and all different types of styles of dressing. But it's also cool to have the knowledge that when you're on a high level, you can actually purchase your wheels already dressed and ready for action. So the wheel just comes to your facility, you put it on, and you run.
So right now we are in our dry machining department. We have some NC machines here for very small lot sizes. The other side we have some more modern CNC machines. Some of them are fully automated, some of them are semi-automated. So also here you can see the huge variety, big, small, thin, thick. Basically everything is running through this department. There's not a single grinding wheel leaving the plant without being machined.
Okay, so this is our railway grinding wheel. This is used for grinding railways. This is a growing market, especially in America. When trains are driving faster, more precise, you need to grind the railway. This is done by a grinding train where more than 50 grinding wheels are mounted on the train by giving the perfect shape to the railway. This is the product. You see the reinforcement here? This is because of safety reasons, to make the product more safe in application.
So you want to see one of the bigger grinding wheels? Here you can see one of the bigger grinding wheels. So it's in the machining process, 2 to 3 more minutes until it's finished. So this is like the cell where we produce the bigger ones. Up to 1.4 meters in diameters we can machine in this area.
prepared. We got chips, baby. Look at this. I don't know how to actually explain this, but like crazy chips coming out right here.
So this material, not only garbage, so we sell it, it's completely recycled and will be reused, not in grinding mills, but in other industries. We really care about our CO2 footprint in this area as well.
So this is like, it's like a big stone turning a stone.
Exactly.
A stone polishing a stone. So it's pretty awesome. You have the grinding wheels and then they're spinning on this bad boy. And then it's a small stone inside that they actually pour onto this surface. It's actually doing all the grinding. Pretty awesome.
So right now we enter our last department. It's our final inspection. We have quite a variety of products, a lot of different products in this area, and also those products you will see here. It's not that they will wait here for a few days. It's always a few hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe the next shift. But if everything went wrong until here and we did see it until now, we want to make sure to find it out. So basically what's happening here, it's always the same lane for different diameters. The first step is checking the balance. In this case, this grinding wheel was okay. You can see it up there. And if it's not okay, so if it's outside the tolerance, we have some gap where we are able to correct it. So to make sure that we get it back into the tolerance where we want to have it. Most of the grinding wheels, luckily, are intolerant and there's nothing needed. Also this time 4.5 grams, so almost perfect.
So some balancing, they spin. This one just, it's all by weight?
It's only by weight, exactly. So it's not a dynamical measurement, it's only without spinning. And what the guy is doing, he does make sure to point out where the heaviest point is. So from this point on, you can, his mark is already there, and then the rest of the labeling is coming at the end. So after checking the balance, or maybe even correcting the balance, the next thing is speed testing. So now there's one wheel, this one is just finished from speed testing, so we will see the next one will be placed into the machine, and then we have the speed test. And we test the speed by a factor of 1.1 up to 1.5 of the operational speed. So if there is anything inside the grinding wheel that's not okay, we will make sure to find it out in this area because it would crack. The first thing is that the grinding wheel is positioned to make sure that the label is always on the same position on the grinding wheel. And after this is finished, the arrow shows in the direction where we want to have it, and then it's going to the labeling machine. So it's just running below the printer. Now whatever is needed on the grinding wheel is printed onto the grinding wheel. So this is really the last step, always manually, where we check if everything is okay or if something is outside the tolerance. And what's also happening is we do a sound check. So we pick up the wheel and we ditch on it with a wooden stock. If the sound is okay, then we know, okay, there is no cracking. And from this point on, it's going to the logistic and then it will be shipped.
Like, look at that. Oh, look at the size of these wheels. Crazy. So good. Large diameter cut-off wheels.
Just to show you, now we cut in the mirror up there. You see the bar?
Oh, yeah. When you look at this machine right here, we're actually looking up here and you have the mirror so you can actually look right through the window and see the cut as it's happening. But it's still the heat.
Yeah, it's hot, but there is no blue color on the cut itself, which is important for the customer as a performance measurement.
So just that straight color just being gray and not being all like purple and
blue, which is bad, damaging the surface, and this is important for performance and quality of our wheel.
awesome. And that wheel is like a chop saw on steroids. Like it's monstrous. It's like 1.2 meters. Crazy. And the bigger size is how big?
The biggest sizes are up to 2 meters, which are the biggest wheels in the world.
Crazy. Kind of like the one on the wall over there?
Yes.
Awesome. So you could brand me right now. Like,
Yeah, I could brand you right now.
This is so perfect. Nice gray color is the perfect amount of heat in that cut.
In this kind of applications, we are market leader. We would have the biggest market share of big cut-off wheels in the world. More than 80% of all the foundries and steel plants, those big size Tyrolit cut-off wheels.
And then all of the test pieces. What an amazing test. Woo. Look at this. Oh, you can see it all molten down there. And this is the wheel that we just saw in action. Crazy cut-off wheels right there. The biggest in the world. Largest diameters, over 2 meters wide. Flip the camera around. Tyrolit, baby. Boom.
Now we have seen plant 1 where we produce our conventional abrasives. Now we are here in Stans, Austria, where we produce our diamond and CBN precision grinding tools. Just come on, high precision in a smaller scale.
Oh, man.
So this is our main production floor for our super abrasives. We are talking about 150,000 wheels each year. So we have around 13 CNC machines. Raw material comes in, the machine turns the first side. We have just to use the second side to get the final aluminium core for our high precision resin bond wheels for the tooling industry.
This is a core material for a so-called Solotech wheel, which is used for insert grinding, and this is first step in production, where we finally bring on the abrasive layer onto this, and then we shape the wheel finally in our turning department. This is a particular grinding wheel for carbide strips for the paper industry, and it is made of a steel core with a resin bonded diamond layer on it, with very high material removal rate and a very fine surface finish to keep a very precise final product. This is an external cylindrical grinding wheel with a specially made core. It is a lightweight construction. It is vibration damping, and so it guarantees perfect surface finish and long wheel life. You apply it maybe on your Studer machines for external cylindrical grinding, or on a surface grinder for parts for the mold and die industry.
So what is the material on the inside?
Yeah, this is a kind of a secret. It is.
That's the magic.
That's the magic. It's a kind of a resin fiber reinforced core material which we developed on our own, and with the characteristics of lightweight, it saves roughly 60% compared to an aluminium core, right. And it is vibration damping, which finally leads to a perfect surface finish on the workpiece.
I like how you have confidence when you say perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Oh man.
We are now here in our production of the StarTech grinding wheels, which is our main product for the cutting tool industry, mainly used in drill and end mill production. What we see here is preparing a mold where we fill in first of all the part of the layer, which is a powder in the initial stage. Finally, we will see how to close the mold and to prepare it to fill in the core material. And finally, we will see the mold going into the press for the sintering process. The big advantage out of this technology is that we have 100% connection between grinding layer and core material, which is finally leading to a very good transport of heat. So the heat can come from the grinding area into the grinding wheel, which is floated by coolant, and so the grinding zone will not get an overload of heat. We can also achieve a very high material removal rate, means we have a very high productivity with this kind of grinding wheel in carbide manufacturing. This is a grinding wheel for double disc grinding, which means we put the one wheel on the bottom side, the other wheel we put on top, and in the space in between we grind, for example, inserts onto thickness. This is a vitrified bonded diamond wheel which is producing hundreds of thousands of inserts.
To guarantee that all wheels are okay, all wheels are reaching our customer requirements, we do 100% check of each wheel. That means we check the dimension, we check the profile shape, all other topics which our customer wants to be checked. That happens with tool dynamic system from Heimer, also with the balancing system from Schenk. That's how we check our wheels.
Over here we see special made wheels for PCD grinding, which is also a lightweight core material, vibration damping. So this is an ideal product for grinding high precision PCD cutting tools.
Oh man, how are you?
I'm good, dude.
What are you making?
We make grinding wheels for car industry.
Nice. You get to work on the big machine.
Yes.
Oh man. I'm a machinist and I'm all about quality. I'm all about machining and process and all of it. And you guys have seen it for years and years, but I've never gone into a company like this that makes abrasive wheels, that makes grinding wheels. It's completely different, and yet they follow the same principles. Everything is about the process. It's about precision from the very beginning, a process of bringing the mixture together, to bringing all the ingredients together, to forming the wheels, to firing the wheels, grinding and machining the wheels to perfection, to every single employee at Tyrolit around the globe. All 4,500 employees Job well done. You guys are absolutely amazing. I am humbled and proud that I get to feature you guys today. From Austria, baby, we are out. Boom.